Yeah, I think it was something he was fully intending to continue practicing. He just thought it was, it got hit and it was a little bit strange. So I don't know exactly what play did that. Joshua's a very physical player. He's in the paint and finishing. So could have happened at any point, but nonetheless, it's a sprain and the cast is precautionary and it'll be off in a week.
Does that kind of open things up for, have you gotten a longer look now at Dom a little bit since he's arrived?
Yeah, I think for us, there's you're weighing all the options. Joshua is such a unique player because he has the skill you want as a four-man, and he has the size and physicality, intelligence. He brings so much to the table. So when he's not to be in the game, you either weigh the possibility of playing a four-guard lineup or playing two bigs, which with the other three front court players, with Buchanan, with Mulder, and with Dom Plata, they all bring something to the table. So we're really looking at both options of the four guard as well as continuing to play with, more conventional two big lineup.
Blake, take me through the process of identifying him as a guy you want in the program, and B, obviously you have a long-time relationship with Tony Bennett, and you committed there, but just how did he get here, and B, what have you seen from him since he's gotten here?
Yeah, so my first experience with Blake was when I was working with USA Basketball a few summers ago, and I was specifically working with the bigs and breakdown drills. And what stood out to me is how intelligent he was, how quickly he picked things up, how much effort he gave, and wanted to make every rep his best rep. And it really stood out to me. And I remember, calling Tony. He was committed to Virginia, and just saying, man, he's going to be a great player for you. He picks things up. He's going to get better quickly. And so when he was to go into the transfer portal, or when, they had the coaching change and then was going to go in the portal, and I had talked to Tony, and he was just like, look, I love him. He's an elite defensive player. He's continuing to develop offensively, but he can pass. He's smart, good finisher, lob threat, all these things. And so we knew that was exactly what we were looking for in that position, and he's been everything that we thought he would be when we recruited him. So I think the relationship with Tony was helpful. I think the USA Basketball opportunity to interact with him and come away so impressed was impactful. And so then when he was there, we just, it was a mad dash to go see him, to get him here and make sure he knew how important he was and how much he'd fit here.
How much was his transfer portal recruitment maybe in line with the way portal recruitments go in general? You talked about mad dash from visit, getting him here, and then obviously a quick commitment as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big secret if you look at how we've recruited the transfer portal over the last few years. We quickly identify who we want, and then, we're going full speed ahead right away. And I think for Blake, I don't even know how long the process went start to finish. For him, he probably felt like it was fast and it went 2 weeks. And for me, it felt like 2 weeks took forever. We knew we wanted him. And so I think it was important that, I think I talked to him probably every day, just making sure that he understood, we're not just getting familiar with him. We don't see you as a piece of the puzzle. We see you as a prominent player in our program. And we feel like from a development standpoint, he has so much room for growth and development. So, I think in the portal, every situation seems to be unique. For the most part, every year, if you look at the guys we've taken or that we've got, usually there's 2-3 guys that we end up committing in the first week to 10 days, and then maybe one other guy that comes along a little bit later. And so I told Dominic Nelson, as that guy this year, he's got big shoes to fill, because the guys that we've done that in the past with have been Isaiah Brockington, Hassan Ward, Kurt Jones, and now him. So the other three before him that were the guys that we had got later, all were terrific players for us. So that's a standard for Dom Nelson as well.
You bring up the defense and rebounding with him, but offensively, how do you guys play compared to maybe how Virginia played? Do you think he gives you guys a little bit more offensively in Ames than out there?
Yeah, because for us, he'll be more involved in facilitating the offense, playing away from the basket at times. He's a tremendous passer, a guy that, again, when you have a guard like Taman and Joshua, guys who are great downhill playmakers, they're going to find ways to get him easy baskets as well. So he's very integrated in everything that we're doing offensively, and I fully expect him to play well on that side of the ball, just like I know he will defensively.
What's Milan look like this summer as he tries to take another step shoot it even better, defend even better, all the things you're looking for?
Yeah, he's definitely taken a big step, and now it's about the consistency. So we've been at it for 5 weeks. He's shooting the ball 50% in live play from three with a lot of attempts. He's defending better. He's more physical. He's communicating better. He's stronger. He's on the glass more consistently. He's worked on his ability to pass and make plays. So now it's the consistency of carrying that forward, because for 5 weeks, he looks like a guy who's a first-team all-league player, hunting his shots, staying aggressive, tremendous leadership, energy. Everything Milan's doing is at such a high level. But now the key is to maintain that over time.
I guess they're both important, but how do you view his development as getting better at the things he's already really good at versus adding other pieces to his game?
Yeah, I think it's probably some of both, but I think really being great at the things he's good at. And I think to start with, his attempts from three, we need to increase the volume, right? There's not going to be a game where we need him to get 7, 8, 9, 10 attempts every night out. In order to do that, you've got to be very aggressive. You've got to constantly be on the hunt. So it's doing that, being the guy that we know he's going to shoot 40, but doing it as a guy that makes north of 3 a game. And to do that, you've got to always be on the hunt, always be aggressive, never leave an opportunity on the table. The other things, like for him defensively, what he does well, I think, he's got good size and length, and he's a great positional defender. He's done a good job for us, like with jump walls and defending in the paint. So I think also, being even a little more physically impactful in our defense. And then I think you said, like, the things he could work on or continue to improve or add, I think he's we're seeing him pass the basketball better, put it in his hands, let him not just go get a basket, but let him make a play for a teammate. That's something we saw a little bit towards the end of last year when we had some injuries and things that we did more, and something that we've leaned into this summer. So that'll be, something that's new for him. And then I hope another thing that's new for him is get more than 5 rebounds every night out, because he's capable, he's physical, he's tough, we know he can do it, and that's a huge winning quality. That's going to not only make him aggressively, offensively on the other end, but obviously finish possessions for our team.
You've talked a lot in the past about how much you want Milan to move well away from the basketball. How much do you feel like the way he played in the home game against Arizona and then the round of 64 game against Lipscomb are good indicators of what he's capable of doing when he does those things that you guys are challenging him to do?
Yeah, he's capable. He's got great energy right now. The thing I've learned with Milan is he's always improving. He puts a lot of time in. There's nobody that is a harder worker and cares more. And right now he's having so much fun. He's got a smile on his face every single day. He's talking a little trash, which I'm great with as well, because he's got that energy going. He's got momentum with how he's playing. So, I think you always want guys to continue to improve and take that step. And I think for him, a big part of all these things that we're talking about is how he feels it, how he continues to embrace it. Even when things get hard, I still have a smile, I still have that enthusiasm, I still have that energy. I'm still going to, take the tough shot even when things get challenging.
What do you think has been the stumbling block for him maybe in terms of hunting it as much as you want to in the past, where, most players, as you know, would love to shoot as much as they possibly can, but it seems like in the past it's been like sometimes you got to coax him into it a little bit at times. How does he overcome that?
I think based on the fact that he's put so much time in and his superpower is shooting the ball or his touch to make shots, that there's times that he can be a little bit of a percentage protector where he wants to take a safer shot or a more open shot. We want him to shoot them contested. We want him to shoot them in transition. We want him to shoot them off the offensive rebounds. We want to get them off quicker. We want to shoot them on the move. So we want all of those. Well, there's a necessary balance between the volume and the percentage. And to me, what looks like a great step for him is north of 3 makes a game, and then we'll figure out what the percentage is. I'm really not as worried about that, because if he makes north of 3 a game and is constantly hunting, it's going to put tremendous pressure on our opponents. It's going to be a huge step for his development. It's going to open up his attack game off the dribble, like we saw later in the year where he's able to get to the foul line and finish at the rim. So he just needs to be relentless with how he continues to hunt and move and attack in every situation from the perimeter.
Talked a little bit about the last month. What did you see specifically out of the two-man game between him and Jefferson?
Yeah, I think they complement each other extremely well. I mean, when you have two guys with great positional size, skill, passing ability. I mean, Joshua certainly is unique to be the body of a power forward and the skill of a point guard in some ways. So I think he gets Milan a lot of great shots because he can pass it over the defense. He a lot of times draws the double or can collapse the defense and make a great pass to Milan. And again, with Milan's size, he's always available. Sometimes smaller guards can get lost on the floor, but at his size, at 6'8", Joshua's always able to kind of find him. So I think they have really good chemistry and synergy. They love playing together. And I think with Milan as well, the way he's passing the ball, now he'll be able to get Joshua some of those opportunities like Joshua's done for him last year.
International players are well known for their ability to dribble, pass, and shoot. Having worked with Plater for the last few weeks, how have you seen that translate to your guys' practice gym?
I think for Dom, he's a guy that can play both frontline positions. What we've seen up to this point is he's a very habits-driven player, somebody that's been taught to block out, screen, seal, do winning basketball effort-based things. I think the speed is probably a little faster than what he had seen at some points in time, and he's continuing to adapt to that because I think part of the skill is getting the game to slow down for you against the competition you're playing. But he's had some great moments. I mean, for a guy who, right when he got here in his first practice, he really opened some people's eyes with the way that he played was great. He plays a style of basketball where, as a guy at 6'11", he can pass it on the perimeter. He can make an open shot. And so those things bring value as well. So, it's something we'll continue to lean into. Coach Schmidt on our staff has done a great job internationally, continuing to go over and have an awareness to who some of those guys are and who could be a fit for us, and Dom certainly fits that mold.
The freshmen, since we talked to you last, how they looked over the last few weeks?
Yeah, they're the thing I've been impressed the most about, with Killian and with Bateman is their level of consistency every single day. The preparation that they had coming in here, the resolve, the mental toughness. Oftentimes what you see with freshmen is guys that there's highs and lows, there's ups and downs, there's good days and bad days. And specifically with both of those two, every day they play relentless defense. Every day they're out there competing to win. Every day they take tremendous pride in team success and chasing down loose balls, rebounds. And so both have played extremely well. I would say with Dom Plater, obviously, as he's a freshman as well, certainly he's elevated the level of practice since he's been here, giving us another front court player who can dribble, pass, and shoot, which is so important. And then with Xavier Mitchell, he has such a tremendous upside. There's times where things just break down and he can go score the basketball. He's somebody that he's a high IQ guy. We brought him in here to be kind of that mismatch type of player. So very different than Jefferson, but in a way where he can kind of always have an advantage on the court. And you certainly feel like he does that. Now, again, as you play on the front line in this league, the size, the length, the physicality, the athleticism is a big deal. And so that's something he's still adapting to, how to finish his plays on the interior, but really been pleased with his continued approach as well.